winner's life. People don't understand that. And that's not reality, because true winners are built for the fucking fight. They're built for the battle. They don't find peace and joy and happiness in the win. They find what they're looking for in the fight.
Be selfish. Be selfish for the next 3 years. Be greedy about your potential. Put your own oxygen mask on first. Greedy with your focus, with your silence, with your time. You've been accessible for too long. Too available. Too generous with energy that isn't being replenished. Forget all that. This is your studio era. Your basement tape. Your hoodie up, back to the world, building in dark seas. You are not going to regret the grind. You'll regret not starting. Say no for a year and let your yes become priceless. Because when I got selfish, life got better for everyone around me. I became a better friend, a better provider, a better mirror. And I know you see that, because when your cup is full, you don't just pour, you overflow. Self-love is not a soft thing. It's a strategic weapon. And if you take 3 years to bet on you might just save the next 30.
You gotta keep fighting, bro. I think we're just gonna give you everything you want. You can't just give up. Just giving up is the ultimate thing. As far as you just quit, continue moving on. Show people who you are. Be the example for others to follow, man. Stay strong.
Your fear. You have to put yourself in precisely the situation that you are afraid of. There are other things that are really holding you back. And if you know that your fear in this area is holding you back, you have to put yourself precisely in those circumstances to make you realize that your fear is irrational.
So let me ask you about a provision the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about it, the Democrats want to talk about extending your...
When you're empty, you can fill yourself up with whatever you'd like. In fact, it's probably best that you're empty. It makes it easier to be reborn.
Do you think I can be reborn?
Don't just stand there. You still have work to do.
You are not ready.
I know.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat. To learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
The most beautiful things in the authentic road and building what's for you and who you are and why you're here on this earth takes time. And that means you have to become okay with
Some motivation.
the empty space inside that you really want to fill with urgency.
Some motivation.
Because
It's a
really
new
it's not
beginning.
empty, it's just in its infancy. What is for you is in its
It's the
infancy.
fourth quarter.
It's not empty.
And it's gonna get hard.
Guess what? You're going to a new level.
It's 3 months left in the year.
New devils. I just want you
It's
to
the
know
fourth quarter.
that it's worth it. When you climb to a new level
If
in
you're
your
not
life,
if you're not living your
new
dreams,
challenges,
you're
even
still
shocking
chasing your
setbacks
nightmares.
that
You're still
take
living
place
your
with people
nightmares
that
and
let you
chasing
down
your
as you
dreams.
climb. That's okay, as long as you know they're coming. I want you to know that fighting off those new devils is worth it, and you become stronger every single time you do it. Most of the learning in life comes from experience. People say, well, do you learn more when you win or when you lose, from failures or successes? I learned a lot from both. And you know why? They're unique experiences. Let me tell you where I've never learned anything. Treading water, doing nothing. There's nothing worse than taking another journey around this earth exactly the same way. Exactly the same experiences. Life doesn't give us what we would like, what we wish for. It doesn't even always give us what we dream for. It'll give us what we're willing to fight for. And these devils are coming. And I'm not going to let that person derail my dream, my vision, my life, or me getting to know who I'm fully capable of being.
What's it gonna take for something within you to change?
It's gonna
There
hurt.
comes a time when you need to stop scrolling on Instagram for the answers and
Your dreams
just
is
turn yourself
gonna
into a
hurt
better person.
when you start
You
to
know,
live
someone
in
out
it,
there wants it really bad,
because it's gonna
and all the
feel
work they're putting in right now
new.
hasn't paid off at all. But they are winning. They're
You don't
more
follow your
inspired by the
dreams.
pain of their own run
You live it.
than they are by watching someone else's on social media.
You live every single day how you dream. That's how you live your dream. You don't follow anything. You're not even following me, my subscribers. Y'all are my supporters. Y'all are not fans. Fans are the people that sit in the back, throw stones, and hide their hands. Those are the fans. The supporters are the ones that are down for the ride and they're down for the journey. The supporters are the ones that I see like this. This military, it's a military print that I got on my watch. So it keeps me mentality. Every time I look at the time, it keeps my mind focused. It keeps my mind vigilant. It keeps my mind potent. So I can remember that as soon as I stop living my dream, I'm living my nightmares. My shoes? Shit, I got on these runners. I went to the gym. These are my gym shoes now. Take them off too. They stink. Smooth feet. You want to see my feet? Jordan Washington? That's weird. Yeah, don't come in here saying weird stuff. They're going to take your comment out. I'm not the one doing it. YouTube is. They got a little bit stricter with their guidelines on the texting. No, I have family that are in the military, and my father, when he was younger, his basketball coach was a drill instructor for the military. So all of their training, all of their practices were all military related. So they did all the exercises that the other teams did, but they also, you know, like how when football team, we have weight rooms probably Monday or Tuesday, and then for the rest of the week we do drills and we do practices on the field. So the training is always going to be different, right? That's why when you watch military movies or military TV shows, don't just watch it for the content and the action and the explosions. Watch it for the weight that's on the person's shoulder who's giving the orders. Thank you. Just like the guy that played Optimus Prime, he said when he was going for the role, he called one of his friends and he said he was gonna be a truck, right? And the guy laughed, but he said he was gonna be a leader. And he spoke to a guy, his friend was in the military, and I think he was a high-ranking military officer, and he told him, remember to be gentle. That's why every time you hear Optimus Prime speak, his voice always sounds so humbling and gentle. It's like you can go to sleep listening to a whole hour of just Optimus Prime just speaking to you, right? If you just put on Optimus Prime's voice and, you know, just listen to a bunch of motivational speeches from his voice alone, it'll make you motivated and it'll make you want to do what you want to do even more because of how calm and kind and gentle his voice is. So he told him, you know, leaders always have to be strong. They have to be the most powerful people. They always want to show power, and everything is all based on power. But a true leader is someone that can be gentle, not someone that can just scorch earth policy, not someone that could just push a button and send a call, right? Someone that's thinking about his enemy as he's thinking about his troops. I know my troops are gonna go into war, and there is a chance that half of them won't come back. That's why when you watch 300 and you watch movies like that, when they say who's willing to volunteer, those volunteers are the ones like the angels that you see on earth, like the people that you see on earth, like you, who's willing to sacrifice themselves, because that's what heroes do. Whenever you see a post and they show you somebody saving someone's life and they say not all heroes wear capes, well, not all heroes are running into burning buildings. Some heroes are preventing people from jumping off of bridges. Some people are just the air and the shoulder for somebody to lay their head on or to speak something to, because they have nobody to speak to. And then when they speak to you and you actually listen to them and you give them a hug or you just have a conversation with them, that saves their life. That saves that person's life. And I'm speaking from experience because my best friend, my late best friend, hung himself. And he told me he was going to do it. And it's like, when you think about stuff like that, When you think about stuff like that, it makes you grateful for the life you have, because not everybody is as strong as you to not take their life. So you got to understand how strong you are to cry and then continue living, to be sad and heartbroken and continue to strive for good. When you continue to be a kind-hearted person around evil people. That's why I say you gotta live your dream. Because if you don't live your dream, you're gonna be living a nightmare, and that's gonna be somebody else's dream. Your nightmare is someone else's dream, and your dream is gonna have to be someone else's nightmare. And you can't worry about that. Because if you don't live your dream and you try chasing your dream, it's gonna be a nightmare that you're living. Because until you catch up to your dream, until you catch your dream, what is the chase? It's pain. It's struggling. It's getting scammed out of your money, trying to, figure out who to trust. It's losing. It's always feeling like something bad has always happened, or one after the next is always an issue. That's why you must live your dream. You can't follow, you can't chase. You have to decide. When you have a dream, even if it's a song that played in your head, get up and play that song until the song is finished. And then you'll dream of something else. Dream with your eyes open. Dream with your eyes closed. But as you're living, live in that dream. You can bring people along with you in that dream as well. There's a lot of kind-hearted people in the world. But in order to get to those kind-hearted people, you're gonna have to go through a whole lot of evil. And in order for you to get through all that evil, you're gonna have to be living in your dreams. Your dreams is gonna be your most powerful self. Your dreams is gonna be your most confident self. Your dreams is gonna be your most potent and loving self. Your dreams is gonna scare the shit out of you, and it's gonna make you think, holy shit, I would have never did that yesterday. Who the hell is this person? And you're gonna be, look at me. You're gonna be telling that to yourself every single time you do something that make you smile, every time you do something that shocks you, every time you do something that make you, feel like I just jumped out of my freaking shoes and started flying. You're gonna be like, wow, look at me, I'm actually doing it. And then once you get to that point, you're gonna start feeling comfortable living in the dream. And it's that point exactly is when people are gonna try to come in, and you're gonna realize this is the evil that I have to get through in order to get to the people that's gonna treat me right. The people that's gonna appreciate my love, the people that's gonna appreciate my confidence and my fearlessness, because we're gonna do fearless shit together. We're gonna go storm the what is it? We're gonna storm the castle and free all the innocent, right? And you're gonna just have fun doing it, because you're gonna be with a whole group of people. You're gonna be with a whole legion of angels, such as yourself. The only way that you're gonna get to those angels is you continue to fight evil and continue to live in your dream. There's no other way to live. And you see the way other people are living. They're not happy. The only way to be happy is to dream. There's no other way to be happy. Because when you dream, you got to see yourself as dreaming is, you got to not give a shit. That's how you become cooler. You got to care about you so much that you don't even hear the people saying what's up to you. They gonna start looking at you like, this nigga ignoring me or something? This girl ignoring me or something? This person ignoring me or something? Like, what the fuck? I said, what's up? Yeah. how to become cooler at school, don't try to make friends. Start a trend. Start doing something in the school that nobody else is doing. If you want to throw on a scarf, right? And you want to come to school dressed up in a three-piece suit, come to school dressed up in a three-piece suit looking like a pimp and own it. And when people give you compliments, just say thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, don't be like, nah. Just be like, thank you. When you do that, everything is going to start falling into place. Because you're going to start becoming the most popular, the most coolest version of yourself by doing exactly what you think about doing in your mind. That's how you become cooler. You become cooler by ignoring all the people in the school. They're going to be doing the same shit everybody else is doing. Once they see you doing what you're doing, they're going to start turning their attention towards you. But you're going to have to be able to take the hate and the love that's going to come with it. Make sure you brush your teeth. Make sure you do 20 push-ups every day when you get out of bed. Get your body pumped up, and you'll be good to go. It's very, very simple. Thank yourself if you take that advice. You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to be like, it actually worked. Because you decided. When you decide, that's when the world and the universe start saying, all right, let's send help. And then when you become more cooler and being yourself, you're gonna get cool people that you never thought that was gonna be, cool with you, but you probably never seen them before because you were worried about other people. But then when you start worrying about yourself, you become around other people that's worrying about themselves, so they can help you worry about yourself even more. And when you worry about yourself even more, it becomes less of a worry and more of a strategy, right? Like, what version of myself am I going to be today, right? Who am I going to be when I leave this house today and I put my clothes on and I put my backpack and I go to the school, right? And remember to be kind and gentle. That's how you become popular. The most popular person in the world is the kindest, most gentlest person. And you're going to start realizing that you're popular and you're cool because children are going to start following you. Children are going to start doing the things that you do. It's going to feel like people are copying you and people are, trying to steal your swag or trying to steal your identity. That's when you made it. Everybody wants to be like Jay-Z. Everybody wants to be like Gucci Mane. Everybody wants to be like NBA Youngboy. Right? Because they made it. When people start following and copying you and stealing your ideas, get deeper in your bag, baby. Because that's when you know you lead in the pack. Because they looking at you. They're not looking at you as, so to speak, they're trying to take your spot. They're looking at you to try to find how you did it. Who's talking to this person? Like, why? How come they just last week, whatever, they was this way, and now they're gonna go into their heads and try to figure out what the hell is going on with you. That's gonna send them into a whole freaking frenzy. Then they're gonna start coming up to you. First, they're gonna make fun of you. That's when you got to keep your head up, keep your head high, and keep that smile on your face. And then they're gonna start copying you. Because when they start making fun of you, they make fun of you because they don't want it to be you. They didn't expect it to be you, right? So they try to chip at you. They try to knock you down a peg or two. They try to, make you their little brother, or they try to little bro you, or little boy you, or little girl you, or little sis you, right? Nah. Don't even answer them when they say little nothing. You ain't nothing little about you. God sent you to that school. God sent you to be the coolest version of yourself. Why? Because there's more of God's children that are going to be looking to you, God's child, to be more brave and bold and beautiful while doing it. And still being kind. What? You can be cool, popular, and be kind as well? That is what's lacking in the world. People think it's all about money. Once you got money, like Kanye West said, right? Wait till I get my money right, then you can't tell me nothing, right? But still, when you get to that point, in a way, it's like it's like duality, right? If we don't have Kanye, then we don't have examples to look at. If we don't have a Trump, hey, don't even worry about that. Don't even think about it. That's how you get them. Don't try. Don't even say hi. Don't even when they look at you and you lock eye contact, you could give them a little smirk and look away slowly. Don't don't the best relationships stem from the woman pursuing the man first. Don't pursue her first at all. Don't even when she walk past you, check her out and continue what you're doing. Let her know you checking her out. Right? Don't say nothing. Don't be like, I'm checking you out. If she asks you, be like, you look fucking good. Like I'm checking you the fuck out. What the fuck? Like I can't check out a beautiful, like embarrass them, but in that type of way, like, you bigging them up, right? I don't know what you meant by that. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, that's how you live your dreams. You don't care about reality. Reality is somebody's imagination. Somebody imagined this watch and then made it a reality. Somebody imagined this shit and made it a reality. Somebody imagined hairstyles and made it a reality. Your friends are doing the opposite because they're waiting for you to lead them. You are supposed to be the leader in your group. That's why you're here. Looking and trying to find ways to be a better leader, to be a better you. You actually want to be a better version of yourself. So you already are. That's the thing about it. When you ask the universe, that's why I say be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And after 2012, anything you wish for, you get it. But you have to pay the price to receive it, right? All magic comes with a price. I'm not in school. I've been graduated. I'm thinking about joining college next semester, but I'm not able to yet. So when I am able, trust me, I'm coming right on here, and y'all are gonna be with me on that journey as well. Yeah, I did all that in school, right? But what I did wrong, I tried to get girls instead of letting the girls get me and worrying about me. When I was in the 11th grade, that's when I started worrying about me. Because at that point, I told myself, well, the reason why I started worrying about me was because my father said, I don't know how you're going to pay for college because I'm not. And I had to he told me that before I took my SATs. So when he told me that, I was just like, well, fuck school. So you told me to get an education, stay in school. Every single time you was always telling me about staying in school, and I did everything that I could. I got the best grades that I could. I paid attention. And now you're telling me you're not going to pay for college? So I didn't know what I was going to do. That's when I started focusing on me, focusing on getting a job, focusing on, just trying to pave my way, trying to be the man that my father raised me to be, trying to be a better version of him. And it wasn't until 2020 that I started to be a better version of me, because that's when I got divorced from my ex-wife. I got married and divorced before I turned 30. I was 27 when I got married, 29 when I got divorced. I'm 32 now. About to be 33. And I got 3 likes and 3 people in here. So look at that. Synchronicity. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. This was actually really fun. I needed this. Because I was going to come on here and be all sulky. I was going to be sad. I was going to be like, I was probably going to shed a tear. But, you know, you never know what happens when you put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, you cannot be afraid. You already are that better version of yourself. You got to the checkpoint. So now it's time to save the video game, right? Save all that courage, all the knowledge that you built up to this point, all the arsenal, all the weapons that you got back there in your arsenal. You got all that. You did everything that you needed to do to get to this point, right? And now you came to a checkpoint. So now it's time to save at that checkpoint. Well, nowadays the game is going to automatically save at the checkpoint, but you got to remember that it's going to be automatically saved in your soul, your heart, and your mind. So when you get up, you got to remember, right? I'm already on that next step. I'm already the better version of myself because I want that. So now I have to show that version of myself that I'm worthy of it, and nobody can take it from me. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, see it like Vegeta sees his pride. Don't ever lose your pride, because any day you can die. I could die right now, but I won't give up my pride, because I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud in the person that I am. I'm proud in the spiritual warrior that I am. I'm proud in getting my ass beat for all those years of my life and still not turning to the streets. I'm proud of getting my heart broke, getting into an abusive relationship with my ex-wife, getting into abusive relationship with my sister and her wife, right? Just being around abusive people and still not turning to no drugs. I quit drinking 2 years ago, and now I barely smoke. I fully delved into my pride, and nobody is gonna take that from me. This world is gonna take everything from you. It would take your family, it would take your love, it would take your kindness, but don't let it take your pride. And that pride right there is exactly what's gonna be the best, strongest, most confident version of you. Because you're not being proud on top of someone. You're being proud standing in your flesh as a soul shining through. You're not worried about this because you can lose this, but you can't lose what's inside. Don't ever let anybody take what's inside. That's yours. That was a gift to you from the universe, from the Most High, from the earth, from existence, from life itself. You might not be able to see yourself as a star, but just remember, we see stars far away. So far away, you're a star already. So when they get close, you better shine bright. Thank you. And I'm gonna leave this right here. I appreciate that. This was a lovely live. Got my feet swinging. Yeah. And don't forget to remain childish, to remain like a child, because that's when you're closest to God, and that's when all your gifts is gonna come in. Everybody can be all, oh, that's little kid shit. Oh, who plays hopscotch? What? Hopscotch is fun. And then when you're able to be a child, you'll be so influential because you'll be influencing grown-ups. You'll be reminding adults, grown people, right? You have old people with walkers in the park because they didn't take the opportunity to walk when they were younger. So now that they're older, they're looking at their grandchildren having fun. They're looking at their grandchildren, but now the grandchildren are on technology. They're not outside playing and throwing water balloons and doing stuff like childish stuff like that anymore. But there's still ways to do childish stuff on the technology and, with this stuff right here. You just have to figure out how, because this is your time. This is your time, right? Kanye West said, um, he said, class started 2 hours ago. Oh, am I late? No, I already graduated, and you could live through anything if magic made it, right? Um, and then he also said, old folks talking about back in my days. Well, homie, this is my day. This is your day. And you're gonna be influencing tomorrow. Yeah. So as you be the best version of yourself, that version that you want, that version that you're thinking about, that's the dream. The best version of yourself is the dream. So you have to live that best version of yourself. You can do, you know, 3D stuff. You could drink, smoke. You can do all that stuff. Live your life balanced. Balance the light with the dark, right? That's why we have two shades. Everybody has two shades. Even white people have two shades, right? You look at their palm, it looks just like this. And you look at that, it's a different shade. It's all light and dark. You have to balance it, and you have to accept it and embrace it. Embrace the darkness. That's what Bruce Lee meant when he said, learn the art of dying. Because dying is the darkest thing that you can ever experience. When you close your eyes, that's death. So you have to embrace darkness. Embrace your dark side, because that's gonna allow you to conquer death. And you're not gonna be afraid of dying. And then once you're not afraid of dying, you're gonna have to be unafraid of living. Because that's where we are right now. We're scared to live. We're so afraid to live, but we're anxious to do all this and that and go here and there and buy this and that, but we're not living. We're just existing for somebody else's gain. So we're actually living a nightmare and thinking that we're chasing a dream because somebody is telling us, download, come to my website, this, that, and the third, and pay this much a month and that much a month. I put my stuff out there for free. My music is on all platforms, all streaming services for free, and you can listen to it on YouTube. You can watch all my lives, all my videos, my behind the scenes, everything you can get for free. If you so choose, that's up to you if you want to buy or donate or anything like that, right? Because if I'm taking something from you and I'm not giving you anything worthy of it, and I'm lying to you, and you don't know that I'm lying to you, my punishment is gonna be greater than the ignorance that you experience. I've experienced the same ignorance, right? Getting scammed and all that other stuff. Because when you're thirsty for the truth, poison also sounds tasty. Kalash said it best, right? Poison is always tasty to a thirsty heart. When you're thirsty for the truth, that's why I didn't tell you to do anything that I would do. I told you to do what you dream of doing, not my dream. I want you to dream. And then when you said thank you, I said thank you. Because once you live your dream, yes, absolutely. This is my, you know, this is what I'm here for. So this is my job. This is my dreams, right? My dreams is to be the person for others that I didn't have growing up. I had to teach myself a whole lot of stuff, especially about girls. My father didn't teach. The only thing my father told me about girls is not to get anybody's girl child pregnant. That's it. My dad didn't want me talking to no girl. He didn't want me dating no girl. He wanted me to focus on getting an education. And that's because Caribbean parents are just like that. But as I came to America, American parents the same way. It's just that this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and technology is everywhere. So there's so much space and there's so much things to do that it's easy to get lost in the cards. It's easy to get lost in the world. It's easy to get lost in the city. It's easy to get lost in restaurants and parties and turning up But once you skip one weekend of turning up, you're gonna realize that you didn't miss anything, because when the next weekend come, the same exact turn up is gonna be exactly what's on everybody else's mind. So then you can go turn up. But one thing my father also taught me, you don't need friends. You don't need to do this, that, and the third. Look at me. He used to always say, look at me, I'm 40 something years old. Have a good evening. Love y'all. He used to always tell me, I'm 40 something years old, I'm 40 this, I'm 40 that. I can still go out and have fun. I can still go out and do this. I can still go out. I didn't understand then because I was impatient, learning patience, right? So as I was learning patience, I had to realize I support you too. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. You know? So like I was saying, as I got to my older ages and I was able to get a proper job where, you know, it pays you more than $240 every 2 weeks, then I was able to then go out, right? But at that time, by that time, I was focused on building a family, building a relationship, and, you know, having children and all that type of stuff. So me and my ex, we would go travel. We would go to DC. We would go to VA. No, we was in VA. We would go to DC. We would go to, we would just go all over the place. Go to the mountains. We would go to the caverns. And we would just have a blast. Living our life, right? Balling on a budget is what they was calling it back then. But now, it's just called living your best life. But don't live your best life going broke, impressing other people. Live your best life impressing yourself. If you're gonna go broke impressing yourself. Go broke getting yourself the stuff that you always wanted to get yourself that you couldn't before, but that you can now. Go broke treating yourself to the things that you wasn't able to get when you was asking your parents for it, but now you got a couple dollars, you can go get that thing. Don't spend it on alcohol, don't spend it on turning up, don't spend it on weed. Spend it on something that you know you're gonna see 2 days from now, and you're gonna be able to look at it and appreciate it because you always wanted it. Like me, I'm getting them Rick and Morty Jordan 3s. When them Jordan 3s come out, the Rick and Morty Jordan 3s, oh hell yeah. And it's purple, and purple's my favorite color, and Purple Moon is my album coming out. Oh, and they got a purple Air Force One Kobe Bryant Black Mamba edition. Those are the two shoes that I'm definitely getting. I don't care. I don't care how I get it. I'm getting those two shoes. I think they released those shoes just to tease me and to tempt me. I'm tempted, baby. I'm getting them. Take all that my money. What Smokey said? Give me my money. Oh shit. Nah. Yeah, thinking about like I'm 32 years old and I only ever had 2 pairs of Jordans in my whole life. I had church shoes when I was going to school. That's why I was always getting into fights, because people was always trying to make fun of me because I'm not from this country, and I was new, and I had my accent was strong. Like they always used to have to say, huh? What you say? Can you say that again? I ain't understand you. So I had to learn, you know, how to speak, you know, the English of the mainland, right? So yeah, wearing fucking church shoes and shit like that. Like, you know, the shoes that the guys in the suits, they go and they sit down and somebody spit on it and then they start shining it. We call them spit and shine in Trinidad. Yeah, them is the type of shoes I had. Like boots. Now, it's cool to get some boots, right? It's cool to rock boots to go to school. Back then, you needed to have some Nikes. If you didn't have Nikes or Adidas, if your shit wasn't name brand, what the rappers were wearing, you weren't cool. So I had to figure out a way to be cool without having all that shit. And the way that I was cool without having all that shit was being me. I was childish. I was having fun. I was genuinely making people laugh. I wasn't disrupting the class or nothing like that. Whenever the class was disrupted, I might have been, well, not might have. I probably was a part of 80%, but that was because it was already going on, right? The class was already making the class. Everybody was already talking. Everybody was already doing this, doing that, and me, I was always scared because my dad would tell me, "I'll buy you a ticket and send you back to Trinidad." And I never wanted to get a ticket to go back to Trinidad because I always wanted to come to America. I don't know why I wanted to come to America. I was just watching all these movies. I was seeing snow. I always wanted to see snow. Now I barely see snow. I was happy last year when it snowed. It was like a little bit of snow on the grass, but it was enough for me. It looked like a movie. But that's why it hurts me so much. Like, I wanted to come to America to enjoy the American life. I didn't want to come to America to suffer. I didn't want to come to America to be broke. I didn't want to come to America to have to pay full price for everything and still can't get a credit card in my name because this or that. Paperwork. I was a child thinking about coming to America. My grandmother really sent me here because she didn't want me to see her die. And also, it's a place to get a better life. There wasn't no good jobs down there. Well, there were jobs, but the jobs weren't paying because it's six. Your dollar, one American dollar in Trinidad is about $7.13. So yeah, I have to make $7 in order to make your $1. So I gotta work 7 times as hard. And that's okay, because that's my life. But while I'm living my life, I'm hopefully inspiring others to live their dreams. I'm not able to travel. I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to go to Italy. Still do. Ever since I was a child, ever since I was small, this dream that I have today is the same dream that I had then. Change the world, make it a better place. I still cry sometimes when I hear Michael Jackson songs, like "You Are Not Alone." Like certain songs, it's like if you know, you know. When you listen to certain songs, it just hits you in the heart, right? Like when I lost my grandmother, I just shut down. I became so numb. I didn't care. That's when I started fighting. What? You say anything to me I didn't like. You try to joke. You told everybody was telling your mama jokes. Everybody was talking about people's mothers back then. And my mother passed. I don't know what it's like to have a mother. I was 15 days old on Christmas Day when my mother passed away. After I was cut out of her stomach. I would never say that I was born because that's not a natural birth. And my mother had sickle cell. And she was infected by the afterbirth of my sister before me. So that was the most pain. My mother was in so much pain when she died. And she was alone. You know what it's like to think about that now? I'm glad I got into so much fights anybody talk about my mother back then because fuck that shit. That woman went through pain and she died in pain and alone, bringing me to life. And you gonna talk about her? I don't give a damn how you joke. That's why I tell people that my life is not a joke, so I don't take jokes lightly. So I don't joke about certain things, right? Certain things is funny, right? When it's a comedy or when it's supposed to be funny, it's funny. But when you're picking on someone, now you're a bully. And now I'm mad. I'll never forget that one time somebody bullied my friend. He couldn't fight. He couldn't defend himself. And he wasn't the best looking. So it was easy to pick on them because, like they say, right? I was listening to the anime motivation speeches, and one of the guys said it's normal for the popular kids to pick on the the uncool kid. That's just how it is, and that's what it was. He was picking on my friend, talking mad shit, laughing. Everybody at the table was laughing, and I could see and feel my friend wasn't comfortable. He was like, whenever somebody talking about you and you can't, you can't beat them. They're bigger than you, and everything about them is intimidating. You would just be like, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever. All right, right? Try to play it off. I wasn't playing it off. This was listen. When I started smoking in 2012, was the best thing that happened to me, because I would have been dead or in jail because of my passion for people. Not because of my anger, but because of my passion for the people that get picked on and oppressed. We're already an oppressed people. So when I see us doing it to us, it's like kicking somebody when they're down and you ain't even up. How you gonna kick somebody when they're down and you ain't even up? So it made me mad. I told him, don't talk that shit to him because he can't even fight. Talk that shit to me. And he was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna get a gun and I'm gonna shoot you. Because he was so-called going to be blood, right? And he was gonna get a gun and come shoot me. I was like, you gonna shoot me? I was like, all right, I'll see your ass at 3 o'clock. Because we got out of school at like 2:50, 2:45 at the time. I told him I was gonna see your ass at 3 o'clock. And everybody heard that shit. I was the first one outside the school. I was thinking about that. It was lunchtime. We had about 3 more periods to go. Yeah, I was not. My blood boils so long. I was mad waiting. So how when you in the heat of the moment, and then after the heat of the moment, stuff start dying down, you get cool, you calm. Nah, I got more mad. I was more mad because I was thinking about what he said. He threatened me. He threatened to shoot me, right? And I know who my father is. I know the original Chocolate City. So, you can't forget who you are and you can't forget where you come from. That's why I say don't ever lose your pride. Because once you give up your pride, they're going to walk all over you. They're going to slap you in your face. They're going to push you aside. They're going to bump into you. They're going to tell you what to do. And then you're going to be like, and then just I don't like that. I don't like when people live their life like that. And then people live their life like that so long that when I tell them about them living their life like that, they get mad at me. And I just want to set you free. They get mad at me because I want to break the rules. They get mad at me because I want to do what the fuck I want to do. And I'm not hurting anybody. Right? I want to free the world. I want people to have fun. And just say fuck everything. And just have fun. But they don't want that. They follow so much rules that they set rules upon themselves so they don't have fun. They go work, home, work, home. I'm not even gonna call that motherfucker a home. They go work, the house, work, the house. They go from one building to another building. They don't never go outside. They go from the building to their car to the building. From the building to their car to another building. And every one of those buildings have artificial conditioning, artificial cooling. That's what the AC stands for, artificial cooling. It doesn't stand for air condition. Artificial cooling. It has to go through a compressor that compresses the air and pushes it out through a motor. That's why sometimes when the motor goes out, it's because the compressor, it can't compress the air. So it's just blowing out regular air. And that's the perfect thing for it, that compressor to go out. When that compressor go out, all you're getting is regular air. I barely have I don't be in the room when the AC on. The door be open. It just be, I have the fan on for so long that it be like 85 degrees in there. I go to sleep. I go to bed, not sleep. I go to bed at 80 degrees. My body sweats while I rest. If you go to any tropical island, any tropical place, you're gonna sweat while you sleep. You're gonna sweat while you rest, and you're gonna constantly look younger and younger and younger. Why? Because you're draining the body of all that fucking plaque and mucus while you sweat. While you're in the bed resting, your body is doing a lot of shit. It's doing a lot of flushing. Because that's the time that it's able to not have to do anything. It's able to just run at default speed. Not coffee, alcohol, weed, pills, lean, drink, dip, all that other stuff. Your body ain't running on none of that. So when you lay down and you rest, then your body gets to a point where you start feeling like you're vibrating. And when you start feeling like you're vibrating, you're actually going into what you would call a lucid dream. And not even 5 minutes after that, if you constantly sit still like that and sit still through the vibration, you're actually going to astral travel. You're going to get up and realize you're going to get up and didn't even think you was asleep. That's what happens when you astral travel. That's what happens when you rest your body and you feel that you feel your body start vibrating, right? And you feel your body feel like it's heavy. That ain't no witch riding your back. That ain't nothing. Your body just needs fucking rest. You've been moving, you've been going for so fucking long and going so hard. Your body just needs that time to rest and recover and recuperate. So it goes into that, it goes into a deep sleep before you notice, because you're resting it, right? Your body is so tired, right? But your mind is so occupied with everything, right? You're not giving yourself time to worry less, right? You're just worrying more, right? So when your mind is roaming and your body is actually laying down, sometimes we just jump out the bed because we just can't rest, right? We're restless because our mind isn't able to get that peace because we haven't accomplished what we want to accomplish yet, right? But you won't be able to accomplish it if you don't have your body, if you don't have your strength, if you don't have that rest, if you don't go into that REM sleep where you can actually lucid dream and astral travel and then get up and then realize, holy shit, I was sleeping the whole time. That happened, it happens, it's gonna happen, right? It probably happens to you and you just don't know what it is. But I'm telling you what it is. When you rest, after putting your body through stress, and you just lay down and lay there in silence, you could have on, some waterfall sounds in the background, some flute sounds in the background. You can have don't have the piano. I used to have the piano, piano meditation music, but that was when I was in my lowest state, right? The piano sounds so, right? You don't want to be there. The flute is all upper, right? So you don't want to astral travel and stay in the earth. You want to astral travel and go to the upper realms. You want to go to the stars. You want to go to places where you can get up and be like, what the fuck did I just dream about? Right? You ever had that? You get up and you like, what the fuck was going on in my dream? And you remember all, like, you was one place one time and then it turned into, you was in a house and then the house turned into the backyard and then the backyard turned into the beach. Yeah, that's the type of dreams you want to have, right? Because once you have those type of dreams, as the days go on, you're going to have more dreams just like that dream, right? But it's going to be more focused, right? Instead of the house turning into the backyard, you're going to be in the house And then you're gonna walk out into the backyard, right? And then you're gonna probably hop in the car and then drive down to the beach, right? That's how the dream is gonna prolong and progress as you continue to stay out of that stressful mindset and more into the living that dream, right? Because once you focus on living the dream is gonna become more clear. Once you think about chasing the dream, then it's going to be all scattered all over the place because you're not going to know what that dream is because you're chasing after a dream, right? So once you live, right, whatever that thought is, whatever that dream is in your mind, in your heart right now, that is the what that you should be living. That is the who that you should be. That is the how that you should be doing it. That is the when and the where that it should be happening, right? Don't think and don't second guess it, right? If you see yourself doing something, just do it. Do what you see yourself doing. That is your highest self. That ain't no demon. That ain't no nothing. That's you. That is your soul pushing you to do what you want to do because you thought about it. Nobody didn't put that thought in your head. Nobody didn't say, hey, yo, think about doing this, right? You thought about doing it, right? Even if you're sitting there smoking a cigarette and you just see yourself plucking a cigarette 2 minutes after you lit it, that means something. Even if you go back and pick the motherfucker up, it means you were willing to listen to yourself first instead of second guessing yourself and becoming wrong. They tell you in school, pick the answer that you thought about first. Because when you go and think and second guess yourself, you end up getting the answer wrong. And when you don't know what answer to pick, always go with C. It works. Because the mind is a very, very, very intelligent. The mind is intelligent. Intelligence is your mind. Nothing that you think is impossible. You can't think impossible thoughts because you wouldn't think it at all. So once it comes in your mind, it's possible. Once it comes in your mind, it's up to you to create that life. And now you got to realize how much power you have to create life. Creating life doesn't mean a baby. Creating life means creating something that exists in this world. Creating life means something that is here and now, not just in the astros, in your mind, in a piece of paper. Even if it's on a piece of paper, that is alive. Even if you write it from your brain, from your heart and your soul onto a piece of paper, you brought something to life. So now you got to cultivate that life. You got to grow that life. You got to nurture that life. That thought, that idea, that dream, it deserves your nurturing. It deserves your time. It deserves your energy. It deserves everything. Because everything that thought and that dream is you. And you deserve everything.